Wow, it's been over 2 months since I've even posted anything, and I think it's about time I get my button gear, don't you? The good news is I finally got the Buy Me a Coffee app on my YouTube channel. Woohoo! I still can't edit. I still don't know how to do a thumbnail, but I've been trying. So I've decided I'm going to post at least 3 videos a week. Not promising what day, not promising they'll be edited or they'll be great, but I am working on it, and I have help coming. I have a tutor, so hopefully that'll make a difference. Anyway, how are you? Good, I hope. Anyway, how about the great news of our new pope, the new pope? You know what? I got to tell you, that was the greatest thing that's happened in a long time. That the news of the new pope, Pope Leo. And I'm not even Catholic, but I felt like I wanted to become a Catholic. The man just, I don't know what it was, but I cried. I thought not only did it make history, but it was an American pope, and that man just had a light inside of him. He brought a light to me, and I felt like to a lot of people. He's smart, he's articulate, and I feel like he's going to bring hope to a lot of people at a time when, I don't know about you guys, but I think we really need it in America right now. We're going through some challenging times, and I'm not political. I don't want to make this political, but lately I've really struggled with a lot of the things that are going on, and my mother was very political, and she made her opinion known, very well known, and so I find myself getting very upset and very frustrated and almost scared, to the point of scared of what's going on. And I listen to the man, the wannabe dictator, the man that's the so-called president, and I think, I've got to say something. It's time I stand up and say something. Not that this is going to become a political platform for me, because I'm not going to be political all the time. That's just not who I am, and I don't want to be political. But it's scary, and I keep hearing how we need to stand up and say the way we feel, so that, because right is right. This comes down to right and wrong. He lies. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. And when he dressed up as the Pope during the Pope's funeral at a time after he died, it literally made me sick to my stomach, and I thought, that's not funny in any kind of way. It was so disrespectful. And then when he said on national television he didn't know if he needed to follow the Supreme Court, and he could not state what his oath of office was, that's when I knew I had to say something. Now, I'm not a political expert. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I do know that we have checks and balances. We have right and wrong, and he lies. The day the Supreme Court ruled against him 9-0, and I hear on the news, or I hear him say, the Supreme Court ruled in my favor, 9-0, and I thought, wait a minute, I just heard the opposite. I mean, I felt like, was I losing my mind? And it was totally the opposite, an out and out blatant lie. People are misinformed and no wonder people are confused. No wonder people buy into all this false rhetoric that goes on. And he has these cabinet members who, they have no integrity, no character. They just go along with the lies, and they capitulate to everything he says. And it's sad to me, because to me, Donald Trump is nothing but a grifter. And, you know, found myself in tears the other night as I looked at all the money he's making in the Middle East where he was just at. He went there to make money. Don't kid yourself. He went there to up himself and his children, and it makes me sick when I look at how much money he's making off his meme coin, off his new hotels. You know, I'm an artist, and I take full responsibility for my life, and I may not have a lot, but I work my butt off, and I try to make money, and I'm on Social Security disability, and that's because of decisions I've made throughout my life. But I don't make a lot, and I work hard for what I do get, and that's on me. But there they are, just raking in the dough, and I get by on my little Social Security every month. And I'm not complaining, I'm not saying, oh, poor is me, but there they are raking in all this money for what? From people like that have worked hard their whole lives, and he destroyed the economy. People lost their 401ks, and he does not care. All he does is tell lies. He has ruined our democracy. If it's up to him, he will see to it that we have no country. He is taking away our rule of law. He ignores what the Supreme Court says. He ignores it. And he's deporting immigrants. I listen to a podcaster because she gives me hope. She's a historian. She teaches, and her name is Heather Cox Richardson. And she's she speaks the truth. She's not bipartisan. She's a a political historian. And she speaks about how if we don't know where we've been, we will be doomed to repeat the past. And she's right. I've learned more from her than I ever learned in school. And I love listening to her because she speaks calmly and she speaks truth. Everything she speaks of is truth. It's what we've done in the past. And she talks about Donald Trump slipping cognitively. And I can see it myself. And I've never been a fan of his. I'm not going to lie. But I don't also just badmouth someone because, I was always taught to respect the office, if not the man. Well, I can't respect the office now because he doesn't respect the office. He respects nothing about our Constitution. But I listen to her because she's calm. She makes me see that, you know what, at some point you got to stand up for what you believe in. And I believe that this country is important. And I believe that we have checks and balances for a reason. And it may not be perfect, but it's what's worked for 250 years. And if we don't stand up and say how we feel and why we feel that way, that we're going to lose it. And we are losing it. Look at all the law groups, the attorneys who've fallen to what he wanted, and now the educational institutions. It makes me sick to my stomach, and all the people who've lost their jobs. I don't know how people still support him, and I have a very dear friend who still supports him and loves him, and I love her. And so I hope that me and her just can agree to disagree and that we can put those aside because I love her. I don't know how she can still support him because when I see him, all I can see is the lies he tells. But I also feel sorry for the man. The man is not right. He is not well. He is 78 years old, and he has these minions around him who, instead of telling him the truth and, telling him you're slipping, you're not well, you're falling in the polls, and, by boosting him up because of these lies, he just thinks he's doing great. Well, he's not doing great. He's slipping in the polls. I think he's unwell. I think he knows he's unwell, and they don't help him any by doing that. It's like they're co-signing his crap. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that the other thing is that this channel, what I plan to do is I'm going to post 3 times a week. Don't promise what days, and I'm not going to promise it'll be edited, except that I do have a tutor coming. And when that tutor comes, God willing and the creek don't rise, I will learn to edit. I've been trying, but I just can't seem to understand how to do it. And all the people I've asked say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I try, but I haven't gotten there. And I'm going to keep trying. I'm not giving up on this channel, but I realized if I don't just do it and post a video, then I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to start posting 3 times a week. They might not be edited for a minute, but if you hang in there, I promise they will start getting edited. They will start being worth something. And I do art, and I grow totem pole cactus. The best thing about this channel, will be my dog Zippy, who is the love of my life. She's a little 2-pounder Chihuahua, and she's cute as the day is long. And she is the best thing about me. Anyway, my vision for this channel is, I'm not out to make $1 million. Oh, if I made $1 million, that would be awesome. But, my goal is connection. I really just want to connect with people because I live alone in southern Arizona in a pretty rural area where there's not a whole lot to do. There's not a whole lot of connection. And I miss people. I don't have a vehicle, so I'm pretty stuck. It's really hot here, and I can't get out in the heat too much. But I miss people, and I want to make connections. I want to know people. I want to, someday when I do make that $1 million, right? Anyway, it's a way for me to get my art out there and to show people who I am and tell my stories. I'm a survivor of stage 4 cancer. In 2021, I beat terminal cancer. So I have a few stories to tell. They might be fun. They might be interesting. You might want to stick around. And with that, I'll close for now. Tune in next time. Maybe it'll be edited. Okay, have a great day. Be kind to everybody. Bye.